welcome to Readathon Threads. My name's Kate. Hello if you're new here, welcome back if you're joining us again, and welcome to week 3 of the Readathon Rebellion vlogs. So, at the beginning of this week, we have rolled over 2 books that we are currently in the middle of. We're reading a book with a romance, and for that one, we are reading Diabound. I know, sorry, you can't see the cover in this, but I am a good chunk of the way through this now. I think I'm even further than what my bookmark says. At the moment, it's saying I'm in chapter 38, but I think I'm in chapter 39. I have about that much left, so not very far. I think I'm about 65-ish% through. I am enjoying this, though it's definitely not a 5-star read for me. It's gonna be probably maybe a 4. There are a couple of things that are really annoying me, mainly the current love interest character. Do not like him at all. I've had to skip any scene pretty much that he is in with her. I can't. It's creeping me out. Not liking it all, to the point where I definitely, don't want to listen to it, and I definitely don't want to read it. So they have been skipped, any of those scenes. I am really enjoying the interactions with the wolves, and some of the other side characters I'm really enjoying too. So it's not that I'm not liking it, it's just not my favorite at the moment. I have also started our latest book, which is Sunrise on the Reaping. We had to read a book mentioned in the vlogs or in the channels from one of the council leaders' channels. So Sunrise on the Reaping was one of them. Rainy Blue Reads definitely talked about it. I'm sure some of the other council members have as well. I'm reading it via Libby on my iPad. I'm not a huge amount into it. I'm into chapter 5, partway through the first part. Hamish is only just arriving at the capital, so we've had the reaping and we're about to get into the games. It is really cool just being back in this world. Seeing Hamish as a child, I think, is interesting. We've obviously got a whole heap of new characters, but then there are some that I've obviously heard of before as well. Like Plutarch is in this, which I'm finding really interesting. And just seeing how they all interact and what's so different, because this is obviously set a fair bit before the Hunger Games actually was. So I am enjoying it at the moment. It's been quite quick and easy. Hopefully I finish it in the next few days, because my checkout on my Libby copy runs out in I think 4 days, and the physical book still hasn't arrived at the library. It is in transit, so hopefully it won't be much longer and I'll be able to continue that. So hopefully I'm going pretty good, so we'll definitely be spinning again very soon. We're currently Tuesday in this vlog. I didn't log in yesterday. I went to see the new Downton Abbey movie and out for lunch with my sister, my auntie and my parents, so that was a lot of fun. I did stop into a bookshop in Norwood where we went, but I didn't actually buy anything this time. I did manage to control myself. In saying that though, I did manage to get my nails redone, which was very handy because they were getting a bit long for me. And then this morning I have gone to get my hair done and I am absolutely loving it. So I've gone like a chocolate brown with purple through it, and it's just, I'm loving it. It's turned out exactly the way I wanted it and I am so happy. So hopefully the purple sticks around for a bit. I know with these bright colors, they do sometimes fade pretty quickly. So fingers crossed that it sticks for a bit, because I really, really like it. And I did get a little bit cut off, so it's a bit shorter now. And it just feels so much better and fresher, and it was nice to get rid of all of that weird red, brown, grey mixture thing that I had going on. So anyway, you're not probably that interested. So welcome to the vlog. Hopefully we can get some good reading done this week. I've been updating my spreadsheets. I am using a new spreadsheet that I got from Library Unbounded from Sylvia over on there. And so still just inputting all of the stuff I've bought just to make sure I have a record of when I got it and help with that spreadsheet. And so that's been really interesting, just going through, seeing if I can find dates of things and making sure I have a record of everything that I actually own. Also on my phone, I've downloaded an app called Bookshelf, which has been really handy, and I have inputted pretty much all of the physical books that I own in it, and then it can tell me what shelf it's on in my library, and then creates a big list. So when I'm out shopping, it's super easy to scroll through and just triple check that I don't already have a book I'm planning on buying. So I'll link those down below if you don't know what they are, but I've got an iPhone, which is what I'm currently filming on, so I can't show you the app. But it's been really cool so far. There's been a couple that I have had to manually input, and especially my special editions, so from Fairy Loot and all of those, they haven't necessarily had those, and a lot of those don't have ISBNs. So it just accesses the camera on my phone, and then I can input it that way. Not sponsored in any way by anything. I just found it, I wanted a way to track my library. I just found that online as a good possibility, downloaded it and tried it out. I'm just using the free version. I think there is one you can pay for, which has a few more functions, but at the moment, I don't feel like I really need those functions, but we'll see, maybe one day. Anyway, that's our first little update. And when we get a bit more through or finish a book, I'll come back and tell you my thoughts and we can spin again. I have just finished Diabound by Sable Sorensen, so I thought I would give you my thoughts on that, and then we will spin for our, not spin, I keep saying spin, then we will roll for our next read. I am still in the middle of Sunrise on the Reaping, and I'm enjoying what I've read from that so far, but haven't read any more since my last update. So, Diabound. I found this book slightly frustrating. Through the whole thing, pretty much could tell exactly what was going to happen. For the most part, I think they made it fairly obvious. There were scenes, a lot of scenes that I needed to just skip because I was not coping listening or reading it. I did jump backwards and forwards between the audio for this and the physical book. I did enjoy the audio. The narrators were really good. There was multiple narrators, so it seemed like each of the characters had a different narrator. I'm not entirely sure if that is correct. It sounded like it. Maybe the narrators are just really good at adding different voices. I'm not sure. I haven't fully looked into it. This one is like 592 pages or something when you put into the end, if you include in the end the chapter that we get, the bonus chapter, which was really interesting. I just read that. I did quite enjoy that. I really enjoy the magic and the direwolves and their interactions, both as a pack and with the other characters. I thought that was really good. However, the frustration level that I felt, one with Merrin, the main character, and two with how her story developed, did just take away from it a bit. So I'm going to give this one a 3.5 stars. I think it's really good. I do definitely want to continue with it. I just found her too frustrating to make it any higher. Like, I was originally thinking it would probably be a 4, and then just the fact that I couldn't listen to a few of the scenes or read a few of the scenes, and I had to literally skip them, and then just wanting her to come to some of the realizations that I already had, and it taking her so long to figure out what was going on did kind of just put it back a little bit again for me. I would recommend this if you do like a good fantasy romance. It was a good time in saying that. I really like the cover of the naked hardcover of this book that I did manage to get my hands on. I think it's really great, and I love the wolf on the back. It's awesome. So I did really like the direwolves, like I said, and I'm eager to find out more about them and their magic and all that kind of stuff. So we'll pick up the next one of this, and I can't really say any more without giving spoilers, and I don't want to ruin this for anyone if they do intend to pick it up. But let's go back to the board and roll for our next read and see what we get, and hopefully I can include some of the books that I have on my September TBR, but we will see. Okay, so when we left off last time, we had landed on Info Gathering, and we are reading for that prompt, Sunrise on the Reaping. But we did just finish Diebound, so let's roll again and see what we get this time. We got a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we'll go the long way. 5. And we got a roadblock. I'm probably going to regret that instead of going straight to objective 3. But let's see what we get. Okay, so we got a roadblock. Let's get up our roadblock prompts and get rid of the and see what we get. Okay, it is prompt number 6, which is a multiple choice. So I'm going to remove that one and see what we end up with. Okay, I feel like the light from the computer is just shining on me in an extremely weird way, but we're just going to continue on and hope for the best. So I think this might be the first time we've actually landed on a roadblock, and I am probably going to regret not going over that bridge, considering that we are currently on the 18th. I'm very quickly running out of time to do much reading. But let's get to the prompt. So we spun a 6, which is a multiple choice. So I do have the info up. So let's give it a read what this prompt is actually about. So stealth was never your strong suit. You like to go in guns blazing, but dang it, you've been spotted. What are you going to do? Choose one. 1, turn around and find another path. Swap out a book on your TBR using a coin toss. 2, fight your way through. You have powerful diviners on your team. Read a chunky book, 400 plus pages. Or 3, your heart manages to manipulate them into thinking you're part of the guard. Read a book someone convinced you to read, but you weren't planning to read originally. Now, those are really good options. And I think I am finally going to get to my TBR book and read A Time of Dread by John Gwynne. So it's the 18th today. I technically think I have until Monday to read this. So it's currently Thursday night before the live show happens. But for me, the live show is like 4:30 in the morning on Monday morning. So if I could just get this read by Monday, that would be great. So A Time of Dread comes in at like 457 pages. So it's perfect. It's on my TBR. I wanted to read it soon and I think it's just going to work perfectly. So we're going to go with choice number 2 and read a chunky book that's over 400 pages. And I think that that's going to work really well. So this is the first book in the Of Blood and Bone saga. So if you don't know what it's about, I'll just read you the back quickly. It says, brave the shadows, wield the sword. A race of warrior angels once defeated a mighty demon horde. Now the victorious Ben Elm rule the banished lands. However, their peace is brutally enforced, and their ancient enemy might not be as crushed as they thought. The giantess Sig must head west to investigate disturbing demon sightings, though the Kadashim are long defeated. And in the snowbound north, Drem finds mutilated corpses on a hunting expedition, a predator or something far worse. Hot-headed Riv is desperate to join the Ben Elm's peacekeeping force. Then she discovers betrayal in its ranks and a life-changing secret. It's time of shifting loyalties and difficult choices, because in the shadows, demons are gathering, waiting for their time to rise. I think it's going to be really great. So this is set about 200 years after the end of the Faithful and the Fallen series, which we did finish a couple of months ago. We are reading this for Becca and the Books Catch-Up Book Club. So definitely one that I'm eager to get to. I really enjoy the Faithful and the Fallen series and I'm looking forward to giving this a go. I am also going to be using this trilogy specifically for my series Staircase. So this will knock off the first spot on my trilogy in the series Staircase. So that's going to be really good. So I will get back to you on more about what this is about and how I'm feeling when we're a little bit into it. So for now, I have this one and Sunrise on the Reaping, which I need to get read. And when I finish Sunrise on the Reaping, we'll roll again. or when I finish this one. We'll see which one I get through first. But I'd say it's probably going to be Sunrise on the Reaping. Anyway, that's our update for now. I hope you are enjoying your reading, and I'll see you in the next clip. Saturday morning. I have just finished Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, and I just thought I would give you my thoughts. I've given it 4 stars overall. I really enjoyed listening to the story. I ended up listening to the audio that I got off Everand and reading an ebook version that I borrowed off of Libby. So backwards and forwards depending on where I was going, which was really handy. I like it when I can have access to a well-done audio as well, just so if I'm out and about, I don't have to switch books sometimes. I don't want to switch backwards and forwards, and I just find that easier. It was so good jumping back into the Hunger Games universe, but so devastatingly horrible at the same time. Just what happens in those stories should never happen. It is disastrous, and so much can be learnt just from the idea of that. And I think that that's one of the things that makes those stories really good. That is, if you let this kind of stuff happen, that's the possible outcome. And I just find them so well done. In saying that, although I did really enjoy it, there were a few things that I think could have been done without. The Edgar Allan Poe references, there was a lot of them and they were continuous, especially towards the end. And I found that a bit overused. And such a stupid little thing as well. I really found it annoying the way Hamish would constantly refer to Lenore Dove as Lenore Dove, like never just using Lenore, or it was just always that double-barreled, like her full name. And that shouldn't be something that I find that frustrating, but the more it happened, the more it was bugging me. And I was just like, oh, can we not? And that obviously is fairly constant through the whole book because he's in love with her. So because he has been sent to the games, he has left his family behind and obviously her. So yeah, but I just found that slightly a bit much. I think I could have done it, but I really enjoyed the other characters that we got. So the other tributes, they were all intriguing and I really liked them. I liked seeing a bit more about some of the characters that we had come up in the Hunger Games later on. I thought that was interesting. Finding out a bit about Effie from the beginning, I really liked that. And just seeing her, knowing now a little bit of their history, their growth from the end, it is interesting. I definitely didn't enjoy it as much as the Hunger Games books. I still think that they are my favorites. And in saying that, how well the movie adaptations of those are done, like I rewatched, specifically Catching Fire is my favorite, but I've rewatched that and then Mockingjay and Hunger Games so many times. They are just the movies that I put on in the background if I ever feel like just having something on that I don't necessarily have to pay as much attention to, but I super love Katniss and Peter and Hamish. And I'm really looking forward now to the movie coming out and finding out how they adapt it, whether they do it as well. I was never that interested in Songbird, the Snow one. So I haven't read it. I don't really intend to read it. I don't want to know more about him. So I might have been a couple of things within this book that I didn't necessarily fully grasp the references for, but I figured out, I think, a fair few of them. Like I know the character names from his book, so like the girl is Lucy Gray and that kind of thing. So I know vaguely the idea of that one. I haven't even ever watched that movie, so I'm not entirely sure about much of that. But overall, it was a good read, and I have now finished another one in September. So I'm going pretty well, I think. I think I'm at like 7 or 8 books read. Not necessarily ones that are on my TBR though. So although I was possibly going to roll again, I already kind of do have another book. So I am going to start A Time of Dread by John Gwynne and hope to get this read this weekend. See how we go. I don't know how much I'll get through, and if I end up having to roll this over into the next vlog, then that's fine too. But I think it's that I'll leave rolling for my next prompt until Monday and the beginning of our next vlog. But so for now, I'll start A Time of Dread by John Gwynne, and I'll give you an update when I'm a little bit into it without giving away super too much about it, because even though this one is technically the first in a series, it is a follow-up series, so I don't know how much in this will necessarily spoil Faithful and the Fallen, but I'm gonna give this one a go and see how we end off. That's pretty much it at the moment, and what I'm planning to do for the weekend is just read, so let's get into it. Hello, it is Sunday morning. It's about 10:30ish, but last night I did manage to get 25% into A Time of Dread by John Gwynne. I am enjoying it. His writing style is really good. I do really enjoy John Gwynne's writing. The thing that I am struggling with at the moment is probably the fact that there is such a big time jump. So we're looking at like 100 years after what happened in the events of The Faithful and the Fallen. So all of the characters that you were with for 4 books, pretty much all of them aren't in this book. Only the giants, who are a long-lived race, are the ones that survived. So we're getting all new characters, but the same world. And I'm finding that a little hard. I think because you don't need the setup for the world, though there is a little bit of world explanation going on, so that if you hadn't read The Faithful and the Fallen along, you could still probably pick this up and follow it along fine. I think it just would have been better, having read The Faithful and the Fallen, to have it a bit closer. So even if those characters were old, and then it was like the next generation or something. So there is mentions to the original characters, but we're talking multiple generations after for a lot of these. And then some of the names are so similar. So like one of the characters in here is called Cullen, and then there was Corbin in the first one, and then there was another C one who I was like, is that the same guy? And it's not. This one's a kid. He's just gone through his long night. But I'm just like, I kind of wish we were closer together. The setup, and we could have seen some of the relationships that were just starting at the end of Wrath, that would have probably been a bit better. So I'm enjoying it. It's easy to get through. Whether I would manage to finish this by tonight, ready for the live show for me, which is tomorrow morning, I highly doubt my ability to do that. I was kind of half planning on going out today. There is a market I found that sounded interesting, but I have this cough that I cannot shift, and the weather is not the best. It's pretty rainy and overcast, so it's a very nice inside day. If I was going to go out, I probably should have gone out yesterday. It was sunny. So I may end up just staying inside and reading. If I do end up going out, I'll get a bit of B-roll and I'll show you the market. But at the moment, I'm thinking about just staying in and mooching and reading. Okay, so it is about 8:10 on Sunday night. I know there is no way I'm going to finish this book tonight. I'm currently on page 183, which is chapter 18. I am still enjoying it. It's pretty slow, but it is the first technically in an epic high fantasy series. So that's not unusual. There's a lot of setup, even though this is a land I've visited before, and if you'd read The Faithful and the Fallen, you'd already have visited it too. But it still kind of has that feel of a setup of a high fantasy series so that you could read it individually. I'm still really enjoying it. Same thoughts as before, really, on the characters, and just wishing that it was a bit closer to the events in The Faithful and Fallen. I will continue that book in our next vlog, but for now, I think we're just going to leave it here. If you would like to see more from me, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you on board. I think I'm at like 270 of you now, which is just an insane amount of people. So thank you very much for those who have already subscribed. It means so much to me. I also have linked down below my Goodreads, my Instagram, and my Storygraph. If you'd like to come and follow me over on any of those, I would love to have chats with you in the comments on any of those platforms, just so we can talk more bookish stuff. And I hope that wherever you are having a really wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.